Hey guys, can you hear me but not see me yet? Let me know when you can hear me, okay? Hi Kenny, hi Linda, hi Mona. I'll be there in just a sec. Can you hear me? Yay, okay. Excuse me. Hi guys. All right, hopefully you can see me. Hi. Hi everybody. Sound is low. Okay, thank you for letting me know that. Let me know. Is that better? Is the sound better now? Hi Michelle. Hi Paula. Hi Pam. Hi Mona. Hi Benita. Hi Sherry. Hi Abby. Hi Evelyn. Helly. Aw, Kenny, you're so sweet. Hi Diane. Kimmy. Hi Shelly. Dee. I think I've gotten Evelyn. Terlyn. I sound far away. Okay. Tell me if, hold on. Is that better? Do I sound better now? No difference. Weird. Okay. I can try taking this out. I'm still having sound issues. Am I still having sound issues? Because I can take this off. It just won't sound as good. Give me one sec, guys. It's perfect. It's better. Okay, good. Hold on. I got to put on my fairy lights. Just a second. I forgot to do this. You guys probably won't even be able to see them. My luck, you won't be able to see them at all. Do you see anything sparkling behind me? I tried. Okay. All right, it sounds good. No, you sound fine. Okay. Sound is good. Yay, okay. All right, if for some reason the sound does not work out real well, then let me know, okay? I'll try to project my voice and talk louder. Hi, Aim. It's very low. Is it still really bad? Okay, I'm going to try one thing and you guys tell me if it's better, okay? Tell me if it's better. I'm going to try one thing. Here we go. Okay, is this sound better or worse? I'm just waiting for a better or worse. You guys tell me. Just say better or worse. And if it's not better, I'm going to go back to the other. Not as good. That's what I thought. Okay. I'm going back. Just make sure that I project my voice really well. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Everybody said it was worse. So, except for Shelley. Oh, can't make everybody happy, I guess. Hello, everybody. How are you today? It's February. February 6th, to be exact. And welcome to my channel. And for those of you, I see some new names that I don't recognize. And, oh good, everybody says it sounds better. Okay, I see some new names I don't recognize, so I want to say hello, newbies. I'm Jennifer. I am an illustrator, an artist. I guess I'm a colorist too, right? An author, a teacher. For those of you who don't know me, I am by trade. I was taught formally to be an illustrator. And I later went and got certified to teach, and I taught in public schools. I taught art for many years in public schools to all age groups. And now I take that little bit of my background and I bring it to this, which is teaching you guys how to color, teaching you guys how to make things look kind of, hopefully, somewhat realistic, because I feel like that's what everybody wants to learn how to do. Can you see my fairy lights? I had to work on that today, and I'm sorry I'm a little bit late today. I'm a little bit frazzled. I mean, I'm always frazzled for those of you who know me. I'm always frazzled, but I was particularly frazzled because I wanted to get my fairy lights set up, and I forgot that I had them, and I had to do that today. So here I am, fairy lights and all. So anyway, how are you all today? Thank you, guys. So if you're new, raise your hand and say, I'm new here. If you're not new, then welcome back. And I'm going to do my best to stay on track here. I don't think that, I didn't see Belinda here yet. And I do have a specific question for her. This ugly watch. Well, maybe I'll just wear it so I know what time it is. Because you guys know how much I lose track of time because I start babbling. Oh, hi, True Hugh. You have one of my books. Which one? Frazzled is good. Thanks, Helen. Yes, so if you don't know my books, here, I've got them here. I always keep them by just in case people don't know. Oh, you know what? I don't have the camera. Hold on. Let me do a little switcheroo here. So, whoops, as I knock things over. So you guys might know these books here, The Secrets of Coloring. Or if you have one of my coloring books, Bella Futura or Glamourista, right? There's Glamourista. And here's Secrets, the original Secrets of Coloring. But what we're going to do, you have the first one. Okay, so probably the first Secrets of Coloring. Helen has 2 books. Mona, you were here before when I did a gem demonstration. I've done so many gem demonstrations, I don't even know. Oh, maybe the malachite one. Oh, thanks, Diane. Oh, Michelle. Oh, you guys are you're going to make me cry. Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you. I'm so glad that you all have my books. Happy birthday, Anna, to your son or daughter. So just FYI, what we are going to work on today for a little bit, well, part of what we're going to work on, I guess I should say. No, I lied. Sorry, frazzled. This is what I meant to say. What we're going to work on today is we're going to focus on the woodland plants, like forest plants and mushies, or mushrooms, however you prefer to call them. Hi, Karen. Definitely lurk. Oh, you found me through Sammy. Oh, well, I hope Sammy comes today. But I know that I don't usually go on at this time. I usually go later in the evening, and this might be, I think this is like in the middle of the night for the UK. So anyway, as I was saying, we are going to be working on some forest plants, like these ones right here. These are called bloodroot. They are real plants, you guys. They're real plants. I'm going to show you some reference pictures too. And then this particular page that you're looking at here is called my Staghorn Fern Nymph. These are Staghorn Ferns. Hi, Lulu. These are Staghorn Ferns right here. Okay, so it's funny because when I show this to my husband, this picture, because I always run everything by him before I put it out there publicly and say, does this look okay? Does this look all right? Because he is my hardest critic, my harshest critic, and he's also an artist. So we like to bounce stuff off one another, and he's super helpful like that. So yes, I'm a very, very lucky girl. But I show this to him, and when he initially saw this page uncolored, he said, oh, she's got horns. And I said, no, they're not horns. It's a plant. So we're going to talk about those in a little bit. What I wanted to tell you, though, that I got like completely off track here, was that what we are going to do, or what I've actually done, because it's been requested, the skin tones for this particular page here, I followed along in my, this is the Secrets of Coloring 2, and I followed along, let's see if I can find it. I actually pulled my book out to look at the colors here again, honest to goodness. And I followed the Skin Tones of the World, the cool tone directions on how to create cool tones, because I wanted her, and by the way, if you are into skin tones and all that stuff, I have cool tones, I have neutral tones, I have warm tones, and then you can do like theatrical stuff. And by the way, I also have, here's the theatrical tones. I also have a page that is devoted to grayscale mushies, grayscale mushrooms. So if you're into doing if you want to do a glowing mushroom, then you can learn all about how to do that in this book. But I wanted to tell you guys that I actually am following about, I would say about 90%. I'm following the cool tones instructions in this book to do this. Now what I've done is I've added a couple more colors, and because it has been requested so many times, I decided to make a video of it for you guys so you can see how I actually colored the skin tones here. Now, hi, oh thank you, Lulu, you're sweet, thank you guys. Okay, so what I need to tell you is it's going to cover the skin tones of her face. So you'll see how I've done every part of it. And it's almost an hour an hour's worth of coloring. And I have pretty much finished the video. I just need to just do the last few touches, and then I will make it available to the public. But I wanted to ask Belinda, but I don't think she's here yet, if there's a time. Hi, Hannah! If there's a time that I can post the video over this weekend, that if we have a spot that doesn't have somebody in it, let me know. And I'll try to do it then. So my world premiere of my dewy skin tones. So she looks nice and fresh and dewy, and that was what my goal was. So, okay. Thank you. Yes, I see a few people were talking about the books. And yes, and by the way, my girls, Linda and Abby and Kimmy, if you guys, those are my mods today. Thank you, girls, for being here and always being here, because they've got my back. If one of you guys, I didn't send you my links, but if one of you has my links, you can post them. Otherwise, I will put links. I have a link in the description that goes to my Amazon shop, that it will bring you to everything that I recommend. All my recommended products and my books should be in there as well. Where were you at the first show? What first show? What are we talking about, Shell? Something today? Did I miss something? I'm sorry. I am cuckoo. Cuckoo pants is what we call it over here, because, oh, you needed someone for the first slot. Oh, yee. Well, my fairy lights weren't ready. And I have a house full of people here today. So, and we just got a new internet installed this week, and I kicked everybody off to make sure that this would be running okay, or at least I hope everybody's off. Hi, SoCal colorist, AKA Della. Where are you in SoCal? I used to live, for a brief time in my life, I lived in Laguna, one of my very, very, very favorite places. Vicki was a no-show. Oh, I'm sorry, Shell. Well, if there's another slot, you let me know, and I will do a world premiere of the skin tones. Now, some more news. I am not going to release like the very specific details like the eyes and the hair and all that stuff, because I wanted to have something special to do, because I'm going to try in the next week or so to set up a Patreon account, and that will be for my patrons. So I was thinking in the mountains of southeast of San Diego. Oh, I love San Diego. Yes, Laguna it's paradise. It is paradise. And I would do, honest to goodness, I would do anything to get back there right now. It is snowing and freezing cold here right now. Oh, I'm so glad that somebody was able to fill it, Shelly. Good. Okay, so again, I'm going to do a Patreon, and I have to get it set up. It might take me a little bit, and when I do, I will put more of these details in here, so you'll see the rest of how I colored this. But we're going to do some of this today, and this whole page, I mean, this could take me, you know, like 10 hours to do. Yeah, I'm going to try to do it. You guys know I'm super slow with everything, and part of that is I'm just slow. I'm a Virgo, so I'm a total perfectionist. Like, everything has to be just so, or I do not put it out there. Or if I do, I get really upset with myself and I get all stressed out about it. So I try not to do that. In addition to that, I am a very, very busy mom of 2 boys, and it's always insanity here. And my husband is my 3rd child, so it's like, you know, daycare here at all times. So I move very slowly because there's only so much I can do. Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you, Kimmy. Kimmy's putting up links to my group, and if you're not in my group, and to my Etsy shop if you want to buy these pages. But anyway, so I am going to try to do the Patreon thing. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and it's just like there's so many things to do. I know. Shelly. Shelly knows. Shelly knows. There's always some drama here in the Z house. Always. Always. I'll just leave it at that. So, yes. So I think I was the last artist to submit my designs to Shelly. So she could actually put her video out. I just slow the whole process down because I am so slow and I have terrible, terrible, terrible time management. Do they have our coloring genes? Yes and no. My older son is more like logical, mathematical, and then my younger son is super like off the wall, off the charts, creative, but like no logic. So, and you know, it's hard being in a household full of artists because none of us have a good sense of time. We're all disasters. You know, none of us are super neat except for my older son who gets so annoyed with the rest of us because, you know, that's just the way it goes. Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Shelly. Yes, I try and I really have the best of intentions always. And I really believe what I tell people, which is I'll have it done tomorrow. I'll have it done in an hour. I'll have it done in 2 hours. And then it's like the next day and it's like, oh my God. And I'm a stress case over it. So that is me in a nutshell. Not going to lie about it. It's just who I am. It's never intentional. But I did finish my designs. I should show you them if you haven't seen them. So I'll do that. So this page that you're looking at here, if you notice looking at it here, I didn't print out this one. This is line art. You can see there's no shadow in here. This is line art. I've printed this page on Strathmore Toned Tan. And if you want to do this along with me, then print your page out on Strathmore Toned Tan, okay? Oh, love you guys too. This is a, ooh, you can't even see that. Let me turn this off for a sec. Is that better? This is a grayscale, light grayscale version of my Staghorn Nymph, medium, and dark. And the three of them come together. You don't buy them separately. They come together. You get all those options. It's sort of like a free thing. And then you will also, if you buy the grayscale version, you'll also get my Poppy Fae, light, medium, and dark. And these are grayscale. Now, if you want line art, it comes in line art too. You have to buy the grayscale and the line art separately. And something that I did, in case you weren't here for February last year, was I made a package, a bundle of all of my grayscale pages from the Februaries, and I put them together as a separate bundle. So if you want to do that, and it's also discounted. So if you want to do that, that's up to you. So that is what we've got going on for my pages. And if you've seen the other pages that the other artists have done, there's some beautiful, like amazing artwork out there. I'm so proud of everyone. And I'm also, yeah, I'm sorry, Linda. I know they're hard to see. It's like, it's something in the settings of my camera. It just, everything is like blasted with light. So, but you can see them online. You can go to my Etsy store and see them. And thank you, Kimmy. Kimmy's posting my Amazon influencer shop. It's basically, Amazon gave me a page to use to post all of my favorite supplies. And I post what they are. I usually post a little description of what I use them for or why I like them. And then you can buy them directly from Amazon. And it's an affiliate program. So if you buy something from my links, then it will put a few pennies into my cup so that I can buy some more stuff to experiment with and show you guys. So like I did for some stuff for today. Because I do have some things in here that, well, this one I was sent, but I do have some things in here that I have to buy to try out. So, you know, It always helps a little bit. Yes, everybody did an amazing job for all the pictures, all the images for February, and I'm in such good company. It's like an honor to be among these super talented people and the super talented streamer / colorists too. I mean, we've got a really amazing crew. Speaking of really amazing crew, something that I always need to do because it's so important is to say thank you to Shelly Pacini, and Belinda Color with Faithful Girl, because they work so hard to put these events together. And the only reason that Shelly does this at all is because it's her passion. She loves coloring and she loves being a part of the coloring community. And it's a ton of work. And I don't know if you've seen her little videos, but she's done some really cute videos. And if you saw the most recent one with all the streamers with Durya singing, it's pretty amazing. So thank you, Shelly, and thank you, Belinda. Okay, so I think we have a nice big chunk of people here in chat. Yes, make sure to thank Shelly and Belinda, you guys, because without them, like, this just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. And I always make it a priority to do these events because they're fun, they're successful, people love them, and it makes me happy. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you. Okay, so let's get on with this, shall we? Are you guys ready? I think I am. Sorry. Gotta stay hydrated. So the other thing I was going to tell you guys, so I'm going to do this Patreon. And forgive me if it takes me more than a week, because you guys know that everything takes me longer than I say it's going to, but that's because I have to make sure I have it set up the right way and the way that's going to most benefit you. If that is something that you're interested in doing, please comment in the comment sections that you would want to do a Patreon. Just let me know, because I will try to figure out how I need to establish this. And what is it that you want from my Patreon? Do you want to do more tutorials? Or do you want to do like a private class with just my Patreon people? Or do you want me to focus more on creating other coloring pages? Because I have started some other fairies. I should have my husband come running through here as he runs through the house saying, "It's February." It's craziness here. But if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. And and I will, thank you, Linda. If it's something that you guys are interested in, let me know. And that way I'll just sort of have an idea of how many people are interested. So one of the things that I'm going to do, you know, I couldn't decide what to do for a background for this page. It was driving me crazy because I was going to try to do a background with you guys. And then I'm like, I didn't like love anything I was coming up with. And then I came up with some cool backgrounds, but then I'm like, no, that just doesn't go with this page as much as I want it to. So one of the backgrounds that I think I'm going to teach, and I would probably, I don't know if I'll do this for Patreon or if I'll just release this, but let's see if I can zoom in. Some Valentine bouquet, if you guys want to learn how to do that. It's a little complex, but kind of fun if it's something. So this will be one of the first things that I do in my Patreon if I don't release this publicly first. It just depends on if I have time to do this, because you guys need it for Valentine's Day, okay? So I will figure out what I'm going to do with that, and we'll go from there, okay? All right, let's zoom back a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, so let me know what you want to do. It's always super helpful. So today, I also have a video of coloring the entire Staghorn Fern, what would you call this? Headpiece. I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can find it. These are Staghorn Ferns. I grabbed these pictures for you guys so you can see them. This is an actual plant. And the reason that I chose to do this is, and this actually really interestingly, we were just talking about Southern California. When I moved to California, I had somebody show me around. I was looking for places to live. And this woman was a sweetheart, and she drove me around for a couple of days trying to find a place to rent, to live. And she was really into plants and plant life. And she would point stuff out, and my mom actually was with me too, and she would point stuff out to the two of us and show us the different plants, the different foliage, and tell us what everything was. And she was obsessed with these Staghorn ferns. And it's really cool because if you look at the picture, you can see that they actually grow out of trees. And it's this beautiful, like fluffy fern that it's like a plant, and it just continually grows, and it has like layers, almost like lettuce. And it's just a really cool plant. And when I was thinking about fairy forest plants, all of a sudden this light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do a Staghorn fern. I have to do a Staghorn fern. That would be so cool. So her headpiece is not horns. Staghorn fern is what it's called. And you can see what they look like. So, and you know, just a word of reference. It's always good to have some kind of reference if you're trying to draw something realistic to help you make sure that your light is falling in the right place, that your proportions are right if you're drawing something. But it's especially helpful if you're coloring something to know where your light is and to know where shadows would go to help you make it look more realistic. So that is why I wanted to show you a picture of the Staghorn Ferns, because I wanted to make sure that you know what we're drawing here. So the other thing I wanted to show you, let's see, I took some other pages here. I have to find out this one here. I don't know if you can see that real well, but you can see how these things grow. They're so cool, and people actually mount them like on moss, and they hang them on the wall. You can grow them. Aren't they cool? So I just thought that they would make a really cool like headdress, and that's why I did that. You have them there in Florida. Yeah, they stick to the tree trunks. So now you know what they are, Abby, if you didn't know what they were before. Oh, thanks, Rosalind. Thank you for joining. So that's what those are. And something else that we're going to work on today are my little mushies. Do you guys know what kind of mushrooms these are? Does anybody know what kind of mushrooms these are? These little babies that are growing all over her arm and climbing upwards are these kinds of mushrooms. They are, and this is an image by Wild Branch, these are oyster mushrooms. Oyster mushrooms. And I just think that they're so cool, just the way that they grow like in a bunch, in a cluster. So here's another mushroom, another oyster mushroom. And the thing that's really neat about them is what I want you to look at is we're looking at this mushroom that has folds, and it kind of, you know, undulates in and out, and then they're transparent enough that the light sometimes comes through. Now in this case, my mushrooms are really, really small, so I'm not going to worry about little details like this because you won't see all these little lines here. Those are called gills of a mushroom. You won't see quite as much detail there just because we just don't have room for it in this picture. If I were doing a very focused drawing or coloring of a mushroom, then I could do that there. But I'm not going to worry about it now. But I just wanted you to see how the texture and the colors, how they go from being real warm and they're sort of translucent so the light is coming through the back side. And look at back at this picture, you can see here that the tops are lighter than the underside because the light is actually hitting the tops of the mushrooms. This is a picture by Daniel Neal, who has some beautiful mushroom pictures. And this is by Nature Serve. Now this is what this is going to be right here. This is called bloodroot. That is a real plant. So when you're drawing things, if you know what they are, I recommend that you try to, if you don't know what it is, and I mean, hey, if you want to just color it however you want to color it, then by all means, just do it. But if you are going for realism and you really want to make something believable, then use some reference to help you color it. And there's my Staghorn Ferns again. You guys already saw this. So that is what we've got going on today. And I'm going to get started. You guys ready? So a little bit of inspiration for you. Okay. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. I don't do a ton of live streams. I just don't have time. I would love to have more time to do it. And if we ever get back to normal, then I will. I promise. It's one of my goals. But I welcome you to join anytime we do anything. And I always try to partake in these events because they're so much fun. All right. You guys all ready? Amy's ready. Okay. So I'm going to put on my little granny glasses and we'll get started. Sorry, you guys, I'm just cleaning off my glasses real quick. Color me a pink monkey. Hello. I love that. Okay, let me just move some of this junk out of the way. So I will think about if I'm going to do that Valentine's bouquet for Patreon or if I'm just going to release that, but I will definitely release my skin tone video that covers her face, the skin portion of her face, so you can see how I did that. And that takes like an hour easily. Everybody got their granny glasses on, ready to go? I got mine. Woohoo! And mine are like, literally, they are granny glasses, right? Speaking of which, I need to have my prescriptions updated. Okay, so let's start with, I think we'll do some of the Staghorn Ferns because that's kind of our main focus here, okay? And today I am using Polychromos. I know I don't usually use Polychromos. I usually use my favorite Prismacolors, but here's what I'm going to tell you. I always try to do something to mix it up, number one. Number two, Polychromos colors are a little bit more subdued, generally speaking, than the Prismacolors. Prismacolors have really like intense color, which I love. And you guys know that I even use a lot of like neon and stuff, but you can see the difference between the Prismacolor and the Polychromo, similar colors. There's just like a vivid brightness with the Prismacolors that I love normally. But in this particular instance, I wanted to use slightly more subdued colors to create these more earthy greens. It's just what I felt like doing. I ended up using some Polychromos and a mixture of Luminance, which I used for her skin. That's Caran D'AChe Luminance. And I don't have a whole set of Luminance, you guys. I would love a whole set. I absolutely would love a whole set. But they're so expensive. They are so expensive. I have a lot of them that I've bought individually. What do I think? Do you think the wax versus oil is why? I don't think that, no, I don't think it's wax versus oil that's making it a different color. I just think it's the pigment. Just whatever Prismacolor uses, they use the most vivid pigments, which 9 times out of 10, that's what I want. But in this case, I'm trying to do, I have a tendency to do things really bright and to do things, I mean, look at the cover of this book. This is like probably 99% Prismacolors, all these images here, and a little bit of marker underneath a lot of them. Nice to have a simple key from realistic art. You know what the plants and flowers are. Yes, it would be nice. It would be nice. And that's why I'm showing you guys this. And that's why I named her Staghorn Fern Nymph, because I want you to know that those are Staghorn Ferns. They are not horns on her head. Okay, they're plants. Yeah, they're like, the polys are more vintage-like. And I like polys, and I love, you guys know how much I love my Prismacolors, but in this particular instance, I'm using polys. Okay, so to start, we'll do some Staghorn Ferns first. And you guys yell at me if I'm out of the, hi Michelle, how much have you missed? Well, it's on, you'll be able to rewatch it. So no worries, no worries. I only have a couple Pablos, Helen. I've never purchased a lot of them, but I've heard good things about them. So that's definitely something to consider. Hi, is it Samina? Hi there. All right, just saying hi to everybody before I get started here. But tell me if I'm out of the screen, and if I do go out of the screen, I'm sorry. I will try not to. Something happened, and one of the reasons that I am a little bit behind is that I had some issues with the program that I have to use to stream. There was some weird stuff going on. I don't know what happened, but I had to like reset this whole program and like align everything and import all of my cameras and everything back. I don't know what I did. I screwed something up somehow. So I'm not surprised, but you know, it is what it is. Ah, Belinda's here. Hi, B. And Jennifer's here. I didn't see her sneak in. Hi, Jennifer. Okay, so tell me if I'm out of the screen, and if I don't see it immediately, I'm sorry. I'll do my very best. I was recording these videos, and a couple times I went out of the frame. There's Jennifer Taft, and Paula. I think I said hi to Paula earlier. Okay, so we're gonna get started here. This is 65. And I'm going to try to do what I did for the videos that I recorded and just write down some colors for you. Okay, if I can do that. So I'm going to start with my 174, which is Chromium Green. Okay, and I'm going to give it a whirl on the sharpener first. So I have a video of the headdress, the Staghorn Fern headdress, and of her hair. I have a separate video, and of her eyes. I have a separate video, and of her skin tones. I have the video that I'm going to post. So Belinda, I was saying earlier, and I feel really bad because Shelly said that you guys had a no-show earlier today. But I was going to say, if you guys have an empty hole, let me know, because I have an hour-long, almost hour-long, I think it's like 50 minutes long, video of skin tones here using Luminance pencils. And if you guys would like me to post that, I'm happy to do so. I just don't know if there's an empty slot during this weekend that I can schedule it to run. And if not, then as soon as the weekend is over, I will post it just so you guys have it. So if you wanted to try to color her. And then I am going to, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be doing a Patreon, and I will do whatever is remaining here, like her dress. Maybe we'll do a stone of some sort. Yeah, so I can do separate videos for that. Okay, so again, I'm using my 174. What I'm going to do, and by the way, something that I guess I don't need this right now, but I might use it at some point. I put this on my description too, because I was using this to do these other videos. This is a 2-finger glove, and it's so that you don't smear. And I smear, that's one of the issues that I have. I smear my drawings as I'm working, and I have to go back and try to erase. And that was one of the reasons that I was so late getting my artwork to Shelly this time around, because I had smeared so much stuff so badly. But my hands, I have like Raynaud's syndrome, and my hands fall asleep real easily. So I can't wear it for an extended time, but they do help. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I'm going to start out. Can you guys see this okay? I think it looks pretty good. I might be turning and twisting a little bit. Okay, so hi, Joanna. So starting with 174. So I am going to start out by doing some almost like tracing my lines, but not quite. And I'm using a super sharp pencil and a really, really light touch. I don't want to put too much pencil down, because I'm going to be going over some of these a couple of times, and I don't want to fill that too much, and I don't want it to look grainy and gritty. And this is a slightly toothy paper. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of establishing where my darks are going to go. And to be, very honest with you guys, as I always try to be as transparent as I can, 2 issues that I, as an artist, have always struggled with are perspective, which is how to draw something to look 3-dimensional. Sherry, this is 174. It's Chromium Green Opaque. Oh, thank you. It's actually a really big mess. I tried doing something a little different, and I have become the professional salon nail person in my home, because I'm not going to get manicures or anything. Not that I did a lot anyway, but yeah, so I've been having a lot of fun experimenting. But this is kind of a mess. So what was I saying? Sorry, see, I just got off track here. So I try to be transparent, and one of the things that I have trouble with is perspective. And I usually run to my husband and ask him for help. I used to cry to my teachers for help when I had a hard time with that. And perspective, and sometimes figuring out really tricky lighting is hard for me too, you guys. It is just hard. So don't feel ashamed or whatever if you just don't have a knack for that naturally. That is something that is, maybe it can be taught to a degree, which, I've taken every class on the planet, but it's sort of an innate skill, and it does help to learn some tips for sure. And I have had some amazing instructors that have been really good about helping me understand some of those things a little bit better. I'm going to try to zoom in just a little bit more. I think I'm maxed out here. Yay! Who are these 83 people here? Say hi if you haven't yet. Or you can lurk too, that's okay. Yeah, so Color Me a Pink Monkey, it is a struggle. It is a struggle to learn 3D stuff. I do go into that a little bit in my Secrets of Coloring 2 book. I do talk about shadows and different objects and where the shadows fall and stuff like that. And I do actually teach a little bit of that in the Secrets of Coloring 1 as well. And I use them myself sometimes for references. I can't remember what I learned and what I know. And I'm old, so it's bound to happen. Okay, so what I'm doing is I am still just establishing very slowly. I'm going to stop talking so much because clearly I can't do two things at once. My darks. And I'm sort of mildly outlining these forms just a little bit so that they don't have a gray outline. I'd rather that they're greenish. And this is a very dark green. You're so funny, Joanna. Thank you. Yes, please subscribe. Okay, so these are, you know, I'm just making up the light as we go. And I could be looking at my reference pictures that I showed you guys, but right now for what I'm doing, it's pretty basic. And I'm leaving, so what I'm doing is I'm doing some shadow lines. And because I want these to look sort of shiny, I'm matching up, well, I guess I sort of messed up over here. I'm matching up where I'm leaving the blank spaces, the white spaces, because those will be my highlights, okay? So I'm trying to match up the shadow lines vertically, or not vertically, horizontally, I should say. So that they look kind of shiny or like dimensional. Now, Polychromos are hard pencils, which is another reason that I wanted to use them because there's a lot of detail work here and they do work really well for detail work. However, I love my Prismacolor Verathins for detail work. They're like next level because they're super hard and they're only for details. Like you can use this to color a big space. You really can't use the Verathins for that. And if you guys remember my reference pictures, let's see. So you can see these when they fold over, they get lighter on top, they're darker underneath. Oops, they're darker underneath, they get lighter on top. That's the kind of stuff that you should be using this reference for to help you figure out what they look like. Now, I'm not giving mine like these crunchy brown edges. I like the pretty, more fresh looking parts. But you can see it's almost like a head of lettuce, you know, or kale or something, cabbage or something, the way it spins out. And that's what I've drawn over here. So if you need to use some kind of reference, then go for it. I'm turning my page. If you feel comfortable turning your page, I would recommend it. And the reason I'm turning my page is that I can get my wrist in here better. It's more natural for me to be able to draw in this motion as opposed to this motion. So I always recommend that you turn your page, and that's something that a lot of beginner colorists aren't real aware of. And I use directional strokes, meaning if this object is a long object, like this particular Staghorn Fern here, UW Photo, hi, you're here, you made it. Yes, I love the Verathins, and yes, they don't come in as many colors, so it is a little bit stifling in that sense, but the thing about the colors that they do have, is that you can blend them with whatever you have underneath them. So if you are using Prismacolor, regular Prismacolor soft core pencils, you can use some, whether it's a brown or an indigo blue or really deep green, something on top to create texture that you wouldn't normally see otherwise. So let's see here. Uh-oh, looks like my video stopped. Okay, so when I color something that is long lengthwise, like this piece is here, I always make sure that I'm coloring in that direction. So I wouldn't be coloring in this direction, if that makes any sense. So that's why I turn my page. It will go smoother, my strokes will match, it will look more three-dimensional, the object in the end. And if you want to do the headpiece, that it will be a separate video because I've already done that. Yes, you have to remind yourself to turn the page. You do. I don't usually use Vaseline because it's like a petroleum base. It's an oil base, and it sinks into your paper and it kind of affects it. It can discolor it a little bit. I mean, that's, if you're just playing around and experimenting, that is fine. There are other what are they called? My brain isn't working right now. Blending mediums that that would work better than Vaseline if you can afford to buy them. There's a lot. I recommend them on my in my Secrets of Coloring book. I have recommendations for those, and then I do probably have some of them recommended on my Amazon influencer page. So again, I'm leaving some white space so I can create sort of a sheen. Everybody still doing okay? Everybody with me? So now in this case, I have my hand on top of my drawing. Here, you guys can't see that. I'll zoom out a little so you can see. I have my hand on top of my drawing, which means that this right here is going to end up here. And if I don't want that, something you can do, you can put a piece of paper, you know, underneath your drawing like this if you're good about remembering to keep it under your hand. Or if you have a hard time remembering to do that, you can get one of these. And I have one, I listed this, I think in the description, which I'll update the description with all the correct colors and everything. But it's a two-handed or two-finger glove. So that way it's not going to smear. I just can't wear it for a long time. It bothers me to wear it for a long time. My hands are, I have some weird like sensory stuff, which I do think is related to, I have, unfortunately, Raynaud syndrome runs in my family. Okay, we'll zoom in again. outlining a little bit as I go. Not a full-blown outline, but just enough to give a little bit of definition. So where this line here meets this line here, I'm just making that a little bit more distinct. I turn mine around constantly. Notice when I'm doing the eyebrows, the left eyebrow, I turn the paper upside down. You know what? That would be pretty much like so if you're doing eyebrows or hair, you always want to do it from the root away from the root. So it's from the root away from the root. So let's just pretend this is an eyebrow and this is where it starts. I would do it this direction. So if that means that you have to do upside down, if it's easier for you to do it, then that's fine. But if you want it to look really realistic, and then I would start that way. And the reason for that is that when you put your pencil down with pressure, you're putting the thickest part of your mark down immediately, and as you move away and you lift it off, that pencil line is going to get thinner. Zoom out? Sure. Is that better, Linda? Okay. So I'm always aware of that kind of stuff. So this pencil right here, I mean, it's still a sharp pencil, but it's not sharp enough for me, especially if I'm trying to do details. So I always need to have it extra sharp. Extra sharp but not breaking, right? Okay, so let's see what we got here. What's next? Okay, so yeah, because if you look at an actual eyebrow, like if you lose an eyebrow hair and you look at it up close, the root is always the thickest part, the root. So as you move away from the root, it's going to be thinner. So I would always recommend that you go in that direction, whether you're doing fur, eyebrows, all of the above. Now I can get into these lines a little more easily without it looking smeary. Now I'm going to move back onto this little piece right here. So anyway, to finish my little story about the Staghorn Ferns, when I lived in California, it was a good time. And it was a good experience for me. I was very young, going off on my own, really for the first time. And that person who drove me around trying to find a place to live was so sweet. At the very end, we bought her a Staghorn Fern because I ended up moving into a place that I found myself, and I felt badly. So we bought her a Staghorn Fern as a thank you present because she was so into it. It was beautiful. So I've always had this memory of them, and I never knew what they were before, and you don't really hear about them that much. And we definitely don't have them growing here in Michigan, at least not anywhere I've been. I think it's more of a tropical or warm weather forest plant. Okay, Abs. Okay. So now we have most of this covered, right? Just a couple more pieces in here that could be using a little bit of attention. Could have done a better job aligning all of my highlights, but that's okay. It'll still look somewhat shiny. Oh boy, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. What are you guys up to? Okay. Okay, last few parts here. Now this little section right here is like that very beginning that I showed you, like the lettuce head looking part, the part that looks like kale almost. Okay. I might need to come in here and deepen a little bit, but at least I have the basics down for now. This one is looking a little funky. I don't know what I was intending for here. Sometimes when you draw something as an artist, you go and look at it later and you're like, huh? What was I thinking? Yeah, it's the truth. Okay, I think I have most of, oh, I forgot this guy right here. Yeah. Little Mon Zero action here. You guys don't know this one, my secret weapon. Okay. I'm looking at the chat real quick. Okay, I don't know if I'm missing anything. I'm just sharpening again. There's a few more little areas I want to make sure I get. Again, directional. I'm not sure what color her dress needs to be. But that's something that I can think about if you have recommendations or a background. So these are tricky little plants because they're like little fingers, but they're three-dimensional. Each one of them is three-dimensional, and they dip down or they cup around, and you kind of have to try to color it to make it look more dimensional. So that's what I'm trying to do here, where I'm placing my highlights and my shadows, that kind of a thing. All right, I think we now have this all covered. I think. Let's just get something in here that doesn't look right. What happened, Abby? Aw, thank you, Michelle. When did I start? When I was in elementary school. I think I was in first grade and I announced I was going to be an artist. I always took art classes when I was in grade school, always outside of school. Loved it, loved it. I knew it would be a part of my life one day. Okay, so that is looking decent. And now what I'm going to do, I can't remember, I think I used cream. You guys see that? 103? Ivory. Sorry, not cream. Ivory. Oh my gosh, Abby. Holy moly. Wow, that's really scary. Yikes. I'm glad that you guys are okay. That's crazy. Abby has a new little puppy. It's the cutest little thing. A little white puppy. Okay, I'm using 103. I'm going to start putting some highlights here. Thank God everything's okay. That's crazy, Abby. Okay. So here we go. So I'm using this ivory color, and I'm just going to go around where I have these white spaces and go and sort of mark them, hit them just a little bit. I can't remember if I did it this way. There's so many ways you can do things. If I went dark light or if I went dark medium light in my the headdress part, I can't remember. And in the end, it will look very similar. I just do it different depending on what I'm doing. That's really scary, Abby. That's crazy. I'm glad you guys are okay. Here we have coyotes that you have to look out for. You probably don't have them where you are in Florida, Abby. So I'm adding this ivory color to just create reflections. I'm going to sharpen it again. By the way, when I use an ivory pencil, oftentimes I will sharpen and then sometimes I do this as well because the ivory pencils get from the pencil sharpener. They can get contaminated with other pencil colors, and then as soon as you go and stick that down in a light spot and you deposit a color you don't mean to, you can't get it back off. So Oh my God. Alligators. Swooping magpies. Oh my goodness. Are magpies predatory birds, Linda? Yeah, Amy, we have lots of coyotes here. I don't see them in our neighborhood, but I know that they're here. I've never seen them right in our neighborhood, but my husband has. What, Linda? Drop bears? What's that? Something new. All right. Ah, this is so much better. Nice sharp pencil. This really just kind of sets it on fire when you start with a really fresh pencil point. You guys, can you see that okay, or should I zoom in a little? Oh, wow. I don't know. Wait, so Shelley, you have magpies by you? I don't know if we have magpies here. Yeah, owls, Christine, I've seen owls here, and those are definitely predatory. I'm going to zoom in just a little so you can see. And if this is too close, let me know. I just want you to be able to see where I'm putting some of these highlights. So this is an ivory color. You could use white also. This is just a little bit warmer. Do you see the warmth in the tones here? It's just got a warmth to it, whereas the white will be, it's neutral, but it will have a cooler look. Although I do like using the white from Caran D'AChe most often, and it is a warm white. Their white is actually kind of warm. So do you see how it's like shimmering now? We get that sort of shimmering effect. You can do this with hair if you don't already know that trick. Interesting. What are drop bears, Linda? I've never heard of that. Oh, guys, give me 1 second. I have a very fussy dog. I'm going to go and move him. Be right back. Hopefully that's the end of that. Thanks, Benita. Okay. Now, again, I'm holding it this way because I want to create strokes this way, not this way. And I might go in with my white too when this is all over with and hit a couple spots. that's starting to come to life, right? A little bit. I have not been to any of the streams yet, so I will have to join in a little bit later. How have they been going? Has everybody been going to all of them? I've had, like I said, I had some setup issues with my my software, my program. I could probably ask Belinda about it. Belinda is like the tech queen. She knows everything. I was trying to be all fancy and create a green screen backdrop for you guys, and I had to change my settings, and I researched how to do it, but I didn't have the right green screen. And then when I went to go back, I put my settings back and everything looked all choppy. I don't know what I did, but it just didn't look good. So I had to reset everything on OBS. So I'm trying to be a little bit more tech savvy, a little bit more, keep it more interesting, but there's obviously the downfalls. What is a drop bear? Okay, I'm sharpening one more time here. I think I've gotten most of it here. Okay, now I'll zoom out a little bit. I guess I'm going to have to Google it. I got tan tone mixed media paper instead of sketch, but mine seems much darker. Are they really a different color? I don't know, Sherry. I have no idea. And even if it is darker, you should still be able to use it just fine as long as it's not super toothy or super smooth where it can't accept color. They protect the koalas. What in the world is this? Okay, now I'm going to have to research it. Never heard of that before. Okay, so I've got all this in here, and now what we need to do is we need to deepen our tone so it looks like this. Now, if you wanted to do this, one thing I did not tell you to do that you could have done, if you want to have a little speckles. So if you want to have this effect, then watch when I do the Patreon. If I put this video in the Patreon, it's already done. You can watch me go through the process of this part. I did not do that down here. If you want the little flecks, I used a Posca beforehand, and what happens is when you do it beforehand, it gets kind of covered by some of the color, and it looks more like ingrained in the actual object. So that is something that you can do. All right, so far we've used 174 and 103. Now we're going to use 170, which is May Green. Now, if you do not have Polychromos, which some of you may not, you can do, there's like, I know Color with Claire, and there are some other conversion charts online that you can use for Polychromos. In this instance, the chart that I have in this book, that I put like some extensive charts in the back of this book, the Secrets of Coloring 2 book, there's charts that will show you the closest match to Prismacolor. but it does not include Polychromos because I knew that there were already charts out there. So if you want to do Polychromos, then you can go online. I know Color with Claire has a converter you can use. There are some other ones online too. All right, so we're going into 170. I'm just going to start adding a little bit of color here. Her braided hair is everything. Well, thank you. Sherry, I had that color on order from Blix. Good luck. It was missing from my set. Good luck. I didn't get a lot of stuff from Blick when I ordered a few months ago. Like there's no white Prismacolors to be found anywhere. So now I'm just adding some of this green in here over everything and kind of combining. But I'm not completely covering up these highlights. So you'll see me put strokes through it, but I'm not completely covering it up. Yeah, I did order some stuff off Blick, and then I ended up ordering some stuff off of Michael's because I could not get it off of Blick, and they just kept telling me that it was behind. They were behind, and it was back ordered, and this went on for months to get just a white Prismacolor pencil. It was ridiculous. So I finally gave up, and I bought myself, do we have them out here? The Derwent white instead, and I have my my Luminance white. So at least I have something. Oh, cool. Cool, Belinda. That's very cool. So Karen, you said you just got a pack of 12 white Prismas. Did you pay a decent price for them on Amazon? Number one is my first question. Secondly, when I ordered my white pencils and got them from Michael's, you can see I actually wrote Michael's on this pencil and put it aside because all of the white ones, you can see even looking at this end here, they must have been cracked on the inside. So I was sharpening them into stumps in no time. It was ridiculous. So, and I didn't want to buy 12 because I don't go through that much coloring stuff. I mean, I wish I could say I did, but I don't. Ooh, list your video stream as a premiere. Ooh, you guys are going to have to like inform me because I'm so clueless. That sounds fancy. Okay. Belinda, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I have that video. So if you want me to, if there's a good time to play it as a premiere or whatever, let me know if there's a time during this weekend that works. And I'll try to see if I can figure out how to arrange it. Otherwise, I'll just wait until the last stream is over and I'll upload it. And that's for the skin tones for her face. Yeah, yes, Shelly, that's what I'm talking about. Like doing a pre-recorded video that can be in the chat while it plays. Yeah, exactly. That would be really cool. So if I can figure out how to do that, that would be awesome. If it's just, I don't know if it's just through OBS or whatever, just as a media source or whatever, like that kind of a thing. So these are looking pretty sparkly, right? Pretty. That was my goal. These are actually probably not this sparkly in nature. I just wanted them to look that way. So there's something called artistic license, and that is when you use your creativity as an artist to make something look a certain way. It doesn't have to be exact. So even if you are using reference to help you with a picture, which I do recommend, there's nothing wrong with that at all. You can still create something your own way. Thanks, Aim. Getting there. You just click a button for it? Okay. Okay, well, maybe you ladies will enlighten me later. So I went dark, light, medium, and this medium is a more vibrant color. You know, it's a brighter color than the dark color. I'm going to go back in with my dark green too. And I want to see, I'm going to see if I can grab Verithin that will match this, because I just want to show you guys what you can do with a Verithin. Well, we're going to do the mushrooms next, Sherry. Okay, okay, Belinda, I'm seeing what you're writing here. So it's through OBS, but you upload the video. Yep, that's what I figured. And that's what you had Michelle do too? Now this is too dull for me. This is too dull, so I'm going to sharpen it. Oh, you choose either save, private, or premiere. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. So we're coming along, right? That's a big portion for me to get color. You guys know I'm so slow. So slow, slow motion, molasses. But honestly, this time around, Shelly, with everything, I don't know how you guys are all doing if you have little kids, or kids in general. I have teenagers. But with the virtual learning, and I'm not complaining because at least it's an option for us, it's exhausting. It is truly exhausting. It's really, to a degree, it's like homeschooling. All right, I'm just going to do these ones a little bit here, and then I'll go back into my darker green again. And I have a cooler green too that I could use in some shadow areas, because warm comes out towards us and cool colors recede. I love Luminance too, Jen. I do, for skin tones. Now I do have, you know, I have a bunch of colors and not necessarily just skin colors. But so for example, for anyone who does the Patreon of this, of her hair, I actually started out with Luminance for the hair, and I got so frustrated because those pencils are so soft and they just don't, they're not ideal for hair. So I laid down the color and then I went back in and used Polychromos to finish up the hair, because it was getting too frustrating trying to do it all in Luminance. and I couldn't get like the individual strands of hair, which I generally like to do using my Prismacolor Verathins. That's my preference. So I just go through over all these outlines if I didn't get them all with the darker green, and just make sure I'm covering up that gray. You don't want to leave stuff in gray, even in a grayscale. I always try to cover some of that up. And by the way, I printed this out in the medium color, or the medium darkness from my bundle, because it comes in medium, dark, medium, and light. Even the line art I did as a combo. Yeah, Helen, it's not easy right now. Anybody who has kids, everybody's struggling. If your kids are in virtual school or hybrid school, because our district is hybrid. They've gone back hybrid now, so a lot of the kids started back this week. And our numbers are down in Michigan, which is great, but not down low enough. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my darker green now, because I pretty much have that covered now. There we go. Right? And I can go back into my darker green, my 174 that I was using earlier. Yes, life is a struggle. Thank you, girls. So I'm going back in, and I'm just going to go in and define some of these darker darks just to make them pop a little bit more. If you wanted to, you could use a black in here. I also have like a grayish color. I think I was using sepia. I think that's what I was using, or maybe that wasn't. Maybe that's what I was using in my luminance, because there's a sepia there too. So I'm just defining this so it stands out a little bit more. You can see that now. And I might go a little deeper in here. Now I do want to show you guys using the difference using the Prismacolor Verathins. And the thing about the Prismacolor Verathins, unlike the Polychromos, if you don't have Polychromos and you just need a harder pencil, then I would recommend, if you can't afford the Polychromos, but you need a harder pencil, I would recommend that you get some of the Prismacolor Verathins, because they're very inexpensive actually, which is kind of weird, I know. Okay. All right, I'm going to get started. Oh, let me just do a couple little touches here, and then I will get started on the mushrooms real quick, because we don't have much time left. I'm using my white just to get some bright whites in here. And you can do this all around. I'll let you guys do that so I don't take up too much more of your time, because you wanted me to do some mushrooms. And I guess I have to do that bloodroot separately. I don't know if we'll have time. But the bloodroot is a lot like this. It would work the same way. So there we go. That just makes it pop a little bit more. And something that I did for the bloodroot here is I used my white and I went around. See, I'm going around here. And you can go all the way around and fuzz it out like that. Add a couple more layers. You guys can do this spending a little bit more time than I'm spending on this. If you want to make it really glow. And then you can use a Posca or a paint marker and just add you guys see that? Zoom in just a little. There you go. Okay, looking good. Thanks, Linda. Okay, moving on to mushrooms. Mushrooms. Okay, I am starting with 131. I want to let this dry a little bit. I'm starting with 131, which is medium flesh. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to trace the lines, just like I did with these. Just a little bit sharper. Okay. And I'm going to trace these lines, go around, lightly trace, not like heavily trace. Just so we get rid of that outline. Okay. And then I'm going to also use it to get some of these gills in here. Just like that. Pretty simple, right? Okay, and now I am going to use my white luminance pencil, which is 001. I'm going to go around this mushroom to give it a little bit of a glow, just like I did this plant here. Okay, and 176, let's see here. Now I'm going to use, oops, I didn't write 001, but you guys know 001 is my white. Okay, and then now I'm using this color here, which is 176, which is Van Dyke Brown. And I'm going to use this for the shadows. Again, I want to have a really sharp pencil. Shelly, I'm not going to do a draw today because we just don't have enough time. But the next time I do a live, I will do a double, where I can go on and do a live draw at some point during the weekend, if there's any time left. I don't want to cheat people out of this because I think people are waiting for this. So I'm creating shadows up to the little cap of the mushrooms. Like that. And again, if you remember the reference pictures, we were trying to create it so that the top is lighter, and then you can see underneath the stem. it gets darker. So to do that, I'm going to use my 132 and I'm going to blend this. And 132 is light flesh. If you guys want me to do a draw, I don't want to rush through this, so if you want me to do a draw, then I will come back on and do it at some point. Just let me know. I'll post it on my artist page. So if you're following me on Facebook, I'll post it and I'm going to do a draw. It's fine with me. I'm going to go back into my dark again. Just hit a couple of these areas. Yeah, it looks better. Okay, and then now, back in my 132, and I'm going to use my Ivory 103, which is this one right here. Okay, we're putting it over here. Ivory. And I'm going to start picking up some highlight areas. And then, I know this is a little weird, but I'm going to use 119, which is light magenta. And I'm going to sort of trace around the edges over here, just to give them sort of a purplish flare. And then I'm going to use 135 and do the same thing, but just a little bit less. It's just to deepen. And then if you feel like you need to blend anything still, I'd go back in with your 132. If anything looks too toothy, which I see in some of the dark colors, it does a little bit. And the last thing I do, I know it's a little weird, again, is I'm going to add 184. 184. I know this is a strange list of colors here. Just on my stem, I'm adding a little bit of warmth. So that's kind of what makes these mushrooms glow a bit. And then the last step, let's see if I can get my jelly roll working. I have a jelly roll. I also have like a skinnier one of these gel pens. And I'm just adding a little bit of detail where it would pick up some highlights. The jelly roll is not working very well. Here we go. There we go. And there's a mushroom for you. I might go and blend this a little bit more. But that is how I did all these guys here. Just make sure you put the shadows right underneath the caps, and the lightest part will be on the cap itself. Until you get to this point, you might just see a little bit of light on the top of your caps here. Yeah, I don't have time to do the bloodroot, this one right here yet. There's just not enough time. So maybe I'll do a little separate video of that since I'm going to have so many other videos. What do you guys think? But at least we got through mushrooms and these guys, and I would say continue to refine these more. Oh, this is what I was going to show you with the, yes, let me sharpen this. I'm not sure if this is the right green. I have a peacock green Verithin here. And I might use black even. I think my pencil sharpener is full. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So this is a Verithin. I'm using peacock green. I just want to show you how you can get definition in here that you really can't get with even a polychromo. So if I want these to look kind of striated, now this is a brighter green, so you can see it's a brighter green, so I wouldn't recommend that. I would go with a duller green if you can find one. This is black, but if you really want to define things more, then you can go back through with your Verithin and really define and create more texture that you wouldn't even be able to get with that polychromo. Okay, woo! We got through that. Aw, thank you, Joanna. Thank you, guys. Well, I hope that you had fun with me. And, oh, we still have 5 minutes. Should I do a giveaway? Do you guys want me to do one? All right, we'll do one real quick. We'll do one real quick. Let me see if I can go to my page here. You guys want to do this? Or am I too late? I have 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Okay, never mind. We'll come back. We'll do it later. I'll come back and do it later. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to join me today and being patient with me. And I will do a giveaway. I promise. You guys know I always forget that stuff, but I will do a giveaway. I'll come back and do it. I'll talk to Belinda and find out when a good time is. But thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. And this was kind of educational and fun at the same time. And look for my Patreon sometime in the next, I'll make announcements from my artist page. Make sure you're following me on Facebook. Make sure that you're subscribed to me on YouTube. Make sure you like this video if you had fun and if you learned something. But keep tabs on the messages that I put out there, because I will let you guys know when I'm going to do stuff. And I will do 2 giveaways because I didn't have time to do it today because I was too busy talking. Okay? Okay, I'll message you, Belinda. I don't know who's next. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? I should have looked. But thank you for joining us, and we have another video coming your way, or another live stream coming your way. And bye, everybody. Take care.